Well, look at that. We're live for another Joking Adventure Hour. This is June 30th, 2026, your Tuesday night. Hello to X, Rumble, and BitChute. Hello to YouTube. Hello to Lurkers and Bots. Hello to the chat. Hello to George.
Greetings, everybody.
We stream every night because the stories are real, but the news, they be fake.
Oh, yeah.
Before we jump in, be sure you get your copy of The Immortal Mask, a 200-page graphic novel created by George truly. You can get it at my website, Dinales.com, CriticalBlast.com, Amazon.com.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, this is a punchline to the question that was asked. So, what was the question asked? Uber facts. Today is social media day. What social media post will ever forever remain unmatched? George, can you be kind and read this?
This little hot chick here is eventually will end up being Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
Hillary, yep. And what
yeah.
did she write in this post?
Happy birthday to this future president.
Yeah. Guess who posted that repost?
No, son of a bitch.
They're absolute savages. Savages.
Yes.
I think it's okay when you find out what you've done that you would say these are soft kisses on a baby's bums.
Wow.
Yeah. So Insider paper. So we did talk about this fairly quickly yesterday, but I do want to readdress it. President Trump signs the presidential memorandum making it easier for Americans to fix their own vehicle. So a part of the Build Back Better agenda, which was part of the global green agenda, was making it cost how would you say what's that, not cost effective, what's the other one?
Cost ineffective.
Well, yeah, but it has a better term than that. Prohibitive. There, cost prohibitive.
Oh.
Yeah. So they want to make repairing car cost prohibitive to buyers, to owners, forcing them to either get onto electric cars that would fail, because if you notice, all the EV cars
are exploding, or they can't work in the cold.
Yeah.
Or they become sentient cars, and they drive you to the loony bin instead of the grocery store.
Correct.
Yep. Or they start to speed up and try to evade the police, even though you haven't committed a crime.
Right.
Yeah, they just want to frame you, box you, and prison you.
Right. And those were features, not problems.
Oh yeah.
Because you're telling me you can send a a missile to a house in the middle of nowhere because you have a photo of the photo of of the target's bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? They have to, they go into the air and there's nothing in the air, and basically they have to hit the target. Unlike the cars where they're going, around and they have to make judgments. You don't think the missile has to make judgment and watch out for birds or?
Well, a smart missile. Sometimes smart missiles, they have a consciousness.
Yeah. We say happy birthday. Bye bye. Wee. What's my purpose? To blow up.
Or what's my purpose? To pass me the butter.
Exactly. Oh my God. So So
yeah, and he programmed it so it won't commit suicide.
mhm, exactly. And but jumping back, so it becomes cost prohibitive for consumers to repair their cars, forcing to ultimately go to EV, and knows that it's so difficult to charge up your cars and it's a hassle. Guess what? You'll be begging your council member for mass transit. Why would you want to beg the council for transit? Remember, we talked about this so many times. Hey, the 15-minute city. Remember that, George?
Yep.
We talked about it because they were trying to usher 15-minute cities where you would have to take the transit because driving would be inconvenient.
Yep.
Repairing the car would be inconvenient. So
Yep.
you would be in a close 15-minute pen where everything that you want and need would be there.
But here's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
Regarding the 15-minute city, the people who planned it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how poor is their life that they think that they can live in an enclosure of 15 minutes.
Oh, wait,
How
wait, wait.
sad is their life?
Oh, wait. No. You're mistaken. That's not for them. They live on the countryside with open air and luxury because they'll buy off the credits. Remember, we talked about that in the height of the climate um, deals that people from like Discovery and Mastercard and Visa would have climate points. Everyone would have that certain climate points, and once you use up those climate points, you couldn't do any more. They're restricted, but rich people could buy off those climate points. Remember that?
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
don't. Oh, yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Leonardo DiCaprio would get
Mm-hmm.
on his private jet and he would buy the climate points from a poor lady
Or yeah,
who's dishwashing.
exactly. Remember, and that was a true story
Yes.
because he was from exactly what he said. They won't need all the credits. So instead of losing those credits, they just buy it off all the poor people, and they're able to use playing on his yacht, play on his plane, whatever, because he had the money.
Yep.
Until he doesn't.
Yep.
But with this is another way that Trump is saying, no, it's not going to happen.
Mr. President, this is a presidential memo to the Environmental Protection Agency, a presidential memo supporting the freedom to fix. Americans have the freedom to fix their vehicle. President Trump insists upon it. We are not going to be going after people who are fixing their own vehicle like past administrations have. Additionally, we've been concerned, President Trump has been concerned about aftermarket parts, cheap knockoff aftermarket parts coming into the United States, harming small businesses, harming Americans. This presidential memo puts an end to it. Also, the only third-party certification for these aftermarket parts, it's CARB in California, a process that's backlogged and faulty. So we're going to break that monopoly, and no longer will CARB be the only third-party certifier for these aftermarket parts. Again, President Trump is insisting on fixing it. This presidential memo does that. President Trump was calling me up on a Saturday night when this idea...
Oh, we had a monopoly, George. Did you hear that? A monopoly of third-party sellers that nobody was able to throw off until now. Wow. And the news isn't talking about that, is it?
No, it doesn't need to.
They
know that we know that. They know that we know.
Yep.
Since we know that they know that we know, they don't need to tell us that we know.
Exactly.
He wants to do a press conference right away to get this over the top. In February 2nd, we signed a right to repair for our farmers so that they can repair their tractors and their non-road equipment, and this is covering everyone else.
I mean, think about it. It came to my attention because I noticed they were arresting people for fixing their car. They were arresting people for fixing it. That's not even believable. Anyway, so it's right to fix, and I think it's really common sense. If somebody wants to fix, some of these people are better mechanics than the mechanics in the shop. They're telling the mechanic in the shop how to fix their car or their truck. We signed the truck one a little while ago. So I'm going to sign this and I'll be happy about it.
Yeah. Guess what? That's a lot of rural people, you know? That's that's farmers. That's heavy machinery. That's a lot of industry, George, that was being suppressed because of this. Small businesses who don't need to go to a dealership. This is Disney ice cream shakes, George.
Well, you know, they don't need to deal with this bullshit if they just go and buy a tractor that has no AI built into it.
Okay. You mean like the take that those people own because it was about the same price?
Or, you know, like whatever the Amish have.
Yeah, you know, ox and a plow.
Hey, if that works, you know.
Wait, you know, they are modernizing. They're getting the 1910 tractor.
Steam powered what are called machines.
Yeah. Yeah,
as long as it works.
It works. So this is the Sarasota Police Department. In the state of Florida, a person must be at least 14 years old of age to operate a personal watercraft, or otherwise known as a PWC. Imagine the surprise of the Sarasota Police Marine Patrol, you know, when they stopped an 8-year-old boy who was riding a PWC off the coast of Lido Key.
Where's your parents? Over here? All right, can you take me to them? Thanks. I'm gonna follow you.
So what's their problem?
He's an 8-year-old.
That's it?
In Florida, you have to be 14-year-old to drive solo a personal watercraft.
Oh, what about a surfboard?
That's not. No. They're talking about this type.
Yeah, I know, but what about a surfboard? Isn't that a personal watercraft?
No, it's a personal life preserver. It's a plank of wood. You know, you only surf on it. You don't you don't say, hey, I'm going to use heavy machinery with oils and mechanical parts moving.
What if you have olive oil on the surfboard?
That's dumb.
No, not really.
Yeah, it is. You have to have wax to keep a nice grip. If you have olive oil, you slip. Come on, man. That's like surfing 101.
Okay, what about Gorilla Glue? What if you have Gorilla Glue on it?
Well, then you're just black.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know that I really don't think that he's legal to drive, right? But we have been jet skis on the lake for the last few years. He's very proficient, but...
How old is he?
8.
8 years old? Okay, and you thought he was legal out here?
Yeah, but I just recently moved from...
See? You have to be at least 14 years. Personal watercraft.
Aren't you a personal watercraft? If you yourself?
Yeah, if you're just swimming on yourself, there's no issue.
But that makes you a personal watercraft.
Yeah, yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and you still have to be 14. Ryan Goodman, over 900 years of military experience has been lost due to PFF's purge of 25 senior military officers. Collectively, they represent over 9 centuries of tactical, operational, and institutional experience across every domain of warfare. Mike Smith. I see. Who is this gentleman? Oh. Chaired professor of New York University Law, co-editor-in-chief, Just Security, former chair, professor, Harvard Law, former special counsel, Defense Department of Defense.
Smashy, smashy, smashy.
You know, I was I okay. So right now, this guy is retweeting this guy who's saying 900 years, 25 senior military officer, right?
Yeah. What's going on? Bring me in on this joke.
Okay. I grokked this, right?
Yeah.
I said, how many military officers did Obama fire in his term? Right?
Yeah.
Did I ask any specific number in this
Yeah.
question? I said only how many, right?
Yeah.
Here's what Grok says. Obama did not fire anywhere close to 197 generals or admiral or even senior officer in any unusual purge. I didn't ask about that.
Oh.
Why, Grok, why are you supplying that information? I only asked, how many military officers did Obama fire in his terms? The often side figure of 197 is misleading and comes across from a 2013-2018 list compiled by Breitbart and promoted by Investors Business Daily of officers relieved of duty or command due to routine reasons, right? Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Okay, tell me that. Tell me exactly what were fired. Okay. So okay, that was unusual. I did not mention 197 number, but what is the accurate number of military officer to be relieved of command or etc.? No, it keeps giving me 197, and it's giving me all the bullshit. So when
After why
do you keep giving me 97 when there's accurate records to show how many he relieved from duty? I only mention 197 because it's the only specific aggregate number that's been widely circulated and repeated and referenced in public discussion and article about this topic. Okay, but I didn't ask for it. Okay. So basically, he's giving me 197 officers. This is where we hit the nail on the head, George.
something's going on?
Yeah. So It doesn't want to give me the accurate number. It just says that 197 is inaccurate. So, for the sake of context, right?
Mhm.
Because this is one where you have to press the grok, and we don't have time on the show to press it.
Yeah.
So he's talking. So this guy is talking about 25 senior military officer of over 900 years of military experience. Obama's term, he got rid of over 200 military officers. George, that includes generals, admirals, Navy. Some of those, and it actually gives me the name of those officers, George, that I didn't even ask about. You had General James Mathis, CENTCOM, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, DIA, Vice Admiral Tim Gardina, General Stanley McChrystal, General David McCurran. So those were the high level. It includes many field grade officers. That includes colonels, lieutenant colonels, majors. So Obama was purging.
He was destroying the military.
He was destroying the military. And this douche is saying, "Oh, we got rid of 25 senior military officer." So if what is it? Let me see. Let me just do a little math here, right? If 900 years of military experience has been lost between 25 individual, right? Yeah. That means each individual had 36, right?
Yeah.
Obama, if we put that 36 years per person, and we put conservatively 200 officers, right? Mm-hmm. Conservatively, because that's the number that we're going. It's not accurate. 197 is not accurate, right? Per grok. The circulation is 197, but we're going to just round it up to 200, right?
Yep.
Obama has cost the United States and its people 7,200 years of military experience.
Wow.
So, close to a century with Trump and PSS. Obama, 7 millenniums and 2 centuries. It really puts it in perspective when you use their own arguments against them, doesn't it, George?
Yep.
So the next time somebody says, "Oh, can't believe Trump got rid of all those military officers, which was good for our country," no, Obama's was getting rid of everybody who was loyal to America. Because if you do any light dig on any of those officers, you'll note that they're very patriotic. Why would you get rid of patriotic officers?
Because you want to destroy the country. How would you do that? You have to get rid of the patriots.
Right. So all the military leaders are the ones who would follow along with the, pride stuff. Mace, this wall is being built by the Dominican Republic to keep Haitians from crossing the border illegally. The two countries share an island together. In 2023, the Dominican Republic deported over 250,000 Haitians. The overwhelmingly majority of the Dominions do not want Haitians their country. Yes. Oh, we got a comment. Blonde Golf Girl, Pete Hesse said officer had to be physically combat ready, and they had a year to do so. Many of those ate too many donuts. Yes.
Yep.
There was a valid reason for the removal. But I'm talking about just strict numbers here, right?
Just by the numbers.
And by the numbers, this guy's argument saying, "Hey, I can't believe they got rid of 25, military officer of 900 years of experience."
Yeah, I can't believe it's not butter.
Right. Whereas, Obama in his cabinet and Department of Defense got rid of over 200 military officers with 7,200 years of military experience.
Yeah.
Some of them may be valid, some of them may be, but it's a little different when you're doing 25 and 200.
Yep.
All right. Rapid Response 47. Donald J. Trump. Gas retailers must get their prices down immediately. They're too high considering that oil is now 80 or 68 a barrel and heading south. The retailers must quickly react to the statement and do what they know is right. Drop your prices for our great American people. There will be no gauging.
Gouging.
Yeah, but he wrote gauging, which is I think it's funny because he always does that when he wants attention brought to it. But so that means he's gauging the temperature right now. No gouging, which is totally illegal. If retailers don't do this, big problems lie ahead. Start targeting around the $2.50 a gallon number, and California should stop charging such heavy taxes on their gasoline, excuse me. Soon the taxes will be higher than the product itself, and the United States will not stand for it, nor the people of California who is being abused by these ridiculous taxes and by their own government, President Donald J. Trump. The gas goes up in an elevator and comes down the stairs. A famous quote. Yes. Also, taxes are done in two parts. You have the federal tax and then you have the state tax. So Trump could easily say, hey, for the 4th of July celebration, I can waive all the federal taxes, for the month, right? If he wanted to lower the taxes. Do I see that happening? No. You know why I know that? Because Ron DeSantis, for holidays and for emergency reasons and non-emergency reason, cut the taxes for a month, meaning that there was no state taxes on the gasoline in Florida, which lowered the prices. So you have two different taxes on the gasoline. So you're telling me consumption tax, where are you spending all that tax money when some of it goes to the federal government and some of it goes to the state government, and you consume that on a daily basis? You're making a lot of money there because it's consumption. You see where it's going?
Yeah, it's a little bit cuckoo.
Yeah. Where are you going to pay for services? I don't know where all that money for that we're paying taxes on is going. Tell me that. Wall Street apes. Elon Musk just posted that AOC is an actor.
Oh, gee. Thanks a lot for telling us the truth, buddy.
Well, remember, he's a trillionaire, so he's afford to tell the truth.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, he could be like saying, hey guys, you know what? You're on my platform yelling at the wind. I'm on my platform because I own it. And they have to listen to me.
Yep.
So Wall Street Apes continues. He's 100% correct. Here's the proof. AOC was chosen to be in Congress by a Democrat casting call. She is a political actor that was picked out of 10,000 applicants. AOC brother submitted her application. She was chosen by the executive director of Justice Democrat out of the 10,000 candidates. It's all on camera. There's even footage of AOC and Alexandra Rojas both confirming this on camera. All right.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is not really the congresswoman of New York's 14th congressional district. She is essentially an actress. She's merely playing the part of a New York congresswoman. I know this sounds crazy, but bear with me. In 2017, a group called the Justice Democrats held auditions for potential congressional candidates that they would run on their platform for various congressional seats throughout the country. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's brother, Gabriel, submitted her for the role. Now, I've auditioned for many acting roles in my day. I've also cast many of my own projects. I know how this works. If you find somebody with star power, even if they don't 100% fit the part, you go with it. Obviously, AOC has star power. Just look at her. She's a superstar, the most famous person in Congress, maybe ever. Their casting was perfect. Now, I didn't have to go digging for evidence for this because they freely admit it. They brag about it.
Back in 2016, we put out a call for nominations. We got over 10,000 nominations. Out of those 10,000 nominations, we found Alexandria.
My brother told me that he had sent my nomination in the summer, but I was like literally working out of a restaurant then. I was like, there's no way.
A casting call. They had a casting call. They cast Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the...
You know who else has a casting call, George?
Who?
CIA.
They chose the right big booty Latina.
Yep.
role of Congresswoman.
You know what's funny? Now that you mentioned it, one of the first videos that they show her when she won, after she won the her election from a incumbent Democrat, right, was her appearing in Congress and coming out of her office in a really bad suit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the camera was pointed at her big booty thing. I'm like, I didn't remember. I remember that because it was like, wow, you guys are being vindictive pricks, against this girl.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. That's why that memory stuck to me. But no, I mean that I know that she was an actor. This was a whole casting. This was to, get sympathy for people to be sympathized and people to hate. So this was all kayfabe in wrestling term.
What you're hearing here is
this was they primed that. I realized they primed it with a TV show. You know which TV show I'm talking about?
No.
I think it's called Ugly Betty.
Are you serious?
Ugly Betty.
Holy smokes.
That's the TV show.
That's crazy.
Because now I think now that I'm remembering clearly, she had the same suit as Ugly Betty. See?
Oh my gosh.
And then you just remove the bracelets, and then she looks like Alexandra Cortez. See? Look.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. I didn't know Allison was there. Okay. So they were priming us for Ugly Betty in Congress.
Oh, it didn't work out too good for them, did it?
No, it worked out perfectly for them because she's still in Congress and we're talking about it. So Ugly Betty served its purpose. Cowboy W2B. Maybe Trump is telling us we're free of debt. Okay. The Freedom Flyer Eagle plaque is a symbol traditionally displayed by homeowners to signify they are mortgage-free, often hung above doors or garage. This practice began after World War II as a way for veterans to celebrate their financial independence. Happy 250th.
Yay.
Donald J. Trump, a golden gift to the White House for his 250th birthday year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. Get those 11 stars. It's all gold, George. Gold. Any comments?
Nah, it's what it is. You know, it's what it is.
It's what it is. It is what it is. Here's something interesting. This is from the Skiff. Hackers are threatening a DOS attack after a suspicious UK site named Vinted was found with obvious signs of trafficking children right out in plain sight on the open web. Read the description and amount, and you'll immediately understand. Save the children. Vinted. Purebred, tight, plush, tray to sell. Disney. Selling for $6,000. 3 years old, used, DM for measurement, purebred, white. What?
Uh-oh.
So it's the same. It's the same thing with the catalogs, George. Wow.
All I have to say is, uh-oh.
And then a hacking attack happens. I don't know, George. I don't know.
I know. It's the word is uh-oh.
Uh-oh. It's like a pizza box that costs $25,000, George. What kind of pizza box costs $25,000, George?
The most awesome pizza box ever created.
Yeah. Loki. Microsoft wants to make Minecraft community servers illegal. An actual conversation in a hearing in California today.
That's correct. Minecraft is currently hosted by community servers. Call of Duty community servers. So it's an option that is out there in existence here today.
They're illegal, and they are not in any way affiliated with Microsoft. Microsoft for Minecraft has gotten a lot of criticism.
That's correct. Minecraft is currently hosted by community.
So the argument is basically the company wants to move on and don't want to continue supporting those servers. Users wants to open private servers so they can maintain the their community and stuff that they built all that time.
Yeah, it's not going to go well for them.
I mean, they're like saying, well, we're not telling the publishers to do anything else. Just open the server so we can continue playing the game that we paid for.
Yeah, it's not going to go good for them.
Yeah. Jonathan McPike, So this is a prediction that happened the day before, right? And Jonathan has this prediction. We're going to read it because it'll come apparent as we get further into the post. So, birthright citizenship prediction that will perhaps turn out to be completely wrong tomorrow. 1. The court will strike down the executive order by a vote of 7-2, Alito and Thomas dissenting. 2. But the court will not impose constitutionally mandatory birthright citizenship on the country. Roberts in the moderate rings knows that imposing constitutional mandatory birthright citizenship would be extremely controversial. They read the animus brief on national security implication of birth tourism from countries that hate us, and they get it. And they get that we get it, too. Preventing the country from doing something about such an obvious problem that half the country cares a ton about, unless it gets a constitutional amendment, which they know would be impossible, isn't the hill that they want the court legitimacy to die on. They'll look for a way to avoid imposing that requirement. Thus, Robert will write a plurality opinion joined by Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett. He'll point out that Section 5 of the 14th Amendment gives Congress the power to enforce the rest of the 14th Amendment and conclude that the Section 5, therefore, gives Congress the power to define the subject to the jurisdiction thereof. But Congress simply parroted the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof from the constitutional text back in the statutory text of the United States Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952. Robert will call this a circular reference and include that by using the phrase from the constitutional text without expressly defining it, with the constitutional text commits the power to define it to Congress. And Congress was basically adopting the broad read of the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof that wrongly, in parentheses, prevailed for so many years. Congress could just as easily define the phrase more narrowly if it wanted to, so long as it does not define it too narrowly. And if Congress wanted to, then it could certainly define it as narrowly as President Trump has in his executive order. After all, there's plenty of history to support that view, as the Senate so helpfully points out, he'll say. But Congress hasn't done so yet, since the Chevron is no longer the law of the land. The executive order has to be struck down until Congress act to adopt President Trump's position. But it'll be only a plurality opinion because 3 liberal justices will concur with the judgment, writing separately in favor of constitutionally mandated birthright citizenship. Sotomayor and Kagan will write this opinion in an attempt to make this position look more sane than the nonsense that Jackson will write in a lone opinion joined by no one else on the court. Sotomayor is perhaps more likely than Kagan to write this opinion because Kagan might be tempted to join the plurality opinion to make it a bare majority opinion of 5 votes to get it presidential weights, even though it doesn't go as far as she likes. This would be a smart move for her if she could live with that half a loaf. Thomas Alito will dissent on the ground that everyone who's being intellectually honest knows exactly what the phrase subject to this jurisdiction thereof mean, because the framer of the 14th Amendment actually told us, and that the common sense and prudence further weighs in the favor of the common sense reading that President Trump's executive order gives it. President Trump will immediately call on Congress to pass a bill to codify his executive order, setting up a big, beautiful campaign issue for the fall, which is exactly what Robert thought he was setting up with his Obamacare decision. Come back tomorrow to see if the Cracker Jack box that I got my law license out of. So that's the opinion that Jonathan McPike has in speculation.
So, how accurate was he?
Very accurate, actually. He missed it in three things. The courts did strike down the order by the vote of 6-3. Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh dissenting. Robert, but he was wrong in this one where they did impose constitutionally mandatory birthright citizenship on the country. With Robert saying, yes, that's how it's being read. Because being born in the United States means that you are a subject of the jurisdiction thereof.
Wait, so English? Short and sweet? What?
Because of the Chevron doctrine, they struck down Trump's executive order 6-3. Because people does come onto our territory or United States land, they are already considered being under our jurisdiction, meaning that it's perfectly fine to have whoever is born here is automatically a citizen, whether their parents is illegal or not.
No shit.
Yes.
So that sucks.
Yes. So what he did is he got the first one right. He thought that it would be 7-2, but it's 6-3 with Kavanaugh dissenting with Thomas and Alito. Number 2, he got wrong because he assumed that Robert and Barrett. I told you before that wherever Barrett moves, Robert will move. So it's not really Roberts, it's really Barrett that decided to vote in favor of.
What are those two banging or anything like that? What the fuck is the guy's problem? Why can't he make a decision on his own?
He's a douche. What can I say? But we already picked him out because you have to study this guy. Anyways, he thought that being Robert in the moderate wings, which would been Barrett and Roberts, would be extremely controversial, so they wouldn't do that. They would just say, you can't have mandatory birthright citizenship in the country, right? But they did it. They went ahead against because they did extremeness, which became extremely controversial. Which is not a lot of news where everybody's reacting crazy because it's like, okay, we lost our country, like you said.
Yeah, in 20 years, China's just going to walk in here and take over.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny that you said that. Let me see. What is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So President Trump's congratulated Chinese President Xi Jinping for their massive birthright citizenship win. I would like to congratulate President Xi in the great country of China on their massive birthright citizenship win, President Donald J. Trump.
Okay, is that a joke?
No, that's for real.
Why would he say that?
Except I think it's very bad for our nation. We're the only nation that does it. No other nation does that birthright citizenship. No, not even close. Some did it, they ended it. It's tremendously destructive. It's extremely costly. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it's up to them.
Because it breeds controversy. George, how do you feel right now?
Oh, as a Canadian, I feel offended for you Americans,
mm-hmm.
because I'm easily triggered, and I have nothing better to do than pay attention to the machinations and the bullshit of another country that has absolutely nothing to do with me or my way of life.
Yes. Except you live right next to us, so whatever happens to us happens to you.
We already got China taking over Canada, so you guys just got 2 decades left.
Yeah.
In you.
Yeah. We gotta start making babies. It's our national duty to make more babies in China. That's why.
Yeah. Americans should start heading to China and giving birth to babies in China.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
Exactly. Oh man. Here it is. Because sometimes people are like, hey, I want to see it from the real post. Here's the real post from Truth Social. I would like to congratulate President Xi in the great country of China. Other things. Now, here's a couple of things that we also have to take a mind of. Because that's what you're feeling right now, being offended. Why did the resource could not be found? Let's try this again. Try it. Okay, why won't it let me copy? There you go. There you go. The Supreme Court upheld the birthright citizenship, which is too bad for our country, but we can easily make it up in Congress through legislation with the support of the president. That has now been determined through this process. No long and unwieldy constitutional amendment is necessary. Congress should start today to work on ending expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship. They'll have my complete and total support, President Donald J. Trump. But you're probably wondering, I know I jumped a little bit of the gun. Let me roll back. Your feelings, your controversial feeling of being offended as a Canadian to our politics is lukewarm, is kind of lukewarm to the temperature of what the right. This is a wake up call to the right voters who say, hey guys, do you know that the Supreme Court just ruled that anybody who just gives birth here, squats and gives birth here, is automatically a citizen? You know that they were born here. Oh, they're here now. Their family who jumped the line, who who doesn't even like this country, will also automatically get citizenship as well. Kind of deal.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's the whole point. Let me see. So, but that's the whole point.
Can they appeal that?
Huh?
Can they appeal that?
No, they can't appeal that. I mean, they could appeal it, but they already made the decisions, and that's not going to work for right now. And they're also
go to a higher court.
They are the highest court.
No, can they go to God?
God, please come into the light and tell us how to switch over this. So this is from SCOTUS Wire.
Yeah, God, can you appeal this ruling from the Supreme Court? Thank you. With prejudice.
With prejudice. He goes to the highest court ever. Not to make fun of it, but the whole point is to get people very angry so they get into action. So this becomes a midterm election. This isn't your regular midterm election. This is like, you need to do this so things can happen midterm election. The Supreme Court ruled that the 14th Amendment guarantees birthright citizenship to children born in the United States, including those whose parents are in the country unlawfully or temporarily, striking down President Trump's executive order. It's striking down an executive order because this is under jurisdiction of Congress. The Chevron Doctrine no longer allows President Trump to have executive orders that supersedes Congress' decision because it's a Congress mechanism. So again, you get thrown that back to Congress. Because I think Corvich or Kavanaugh, no, I think it's Kavanaugh, put a plurality and said, hey, if you want to fix this, you guys in Congress need to make the precise language to fix it. Justice Robert delivered the opinion of the court, joined by Sotomayor, Kagan, Barrett, and Jackson. Kavanaugh concurred some parts of the judgment and dissents in part. Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch dissent. There you go. Kavanaugh would strike down President Trump's EO under federal statute, but does not believe it violates the 14th Amendment, making the constitutional holding 504. Congress cannot now redefine jurisdiction except through a constitutional amendment. Is it? So now they're going here. This is what they're thinking, but that's not true because of the Kavanaugh's dissenting, which also with the 5-4 ruling cannot be used as precedents either. Let's see. Moving on. Where is it? Okay. We're going to continue this and kind of beat down this horse. Senator Eric Smith, the Supreme Court birthright citizenship decision is wrong, dangerous, and disastrous for the American sovereignty and the American people. If we can't fix it with ordinary legislation, then we must do what the Constitution commands in the moment of national crisis. We must amend the Constitution and restore American citizenship. We must put we the people first. The Supreme Court decision constitutionalized unlimited birthright citizenship for children of illegal aliens and temporarily presents aliens as wrong and disastrous for our sovereignty and future of a republic. The decision exposed America to the grave national security risk and threatened to erode the integrity of the core of the American self-government citizenship. Citizenship is more than paperwork issued by the government. It's more than bureaucratic labels that grants access to government program. Citizenship is the conventional bond between a nation and its people. And in a republic like ours, the bond carries enormous weight. In the United States, sovereignty does not belong to a king or ruling class. It belongs to the American people themselves. Citizenship defines the legal recognition of who the American people are. Citizenship defines the political community that governs the United States. It defines who exercise sovereignty and authority of this republic. But under the Supreme Court erroneous interpretation, the Constitution now requires citizenship for anyone who happens to be born on U.S. soil. If their parents enter the country illegally, in other words, even if American people, the citizenry, have prohibited those parents from entering our territory, even if they are only here as tourists or on student visas, even if they have no intention of joining the American nation, this is a dramatic departure on how serious nation understands citizenship. And under the Supreme Court decision, citizenship no longer reflects allegiance or loyalty to a country or law. It becomes an administrative status to be seized by interlopers. This ruling is a final alarm. And then they continue blah, 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 blah. Okay, in wake of the Supreme Court's ruling like this one, Congress has a duty to examine the constitutional text of historical records and the policy consequences. Congress also has the power to respond when the court mistakenly interpret a statute. Congress can amend the statute through bicameralism and presentment. When the court entrenches its mistake as a constitutional command, the remedy must match the injury. Congress can propose an amendment under Article 5, and the states can ratify it. The process is purposefully difficult. It requires 2/3 of each chamber of Congress and ratification by 3/4 of the states. Here, the Supreme Court issued a constitutional ruling. Ordinary legislation cannot repair the damage. A constitutional amendment is now required. Accordingly, I will be announcing a forthcoming constitutional amendment to restore the sacred bond between American citizens and their government. The amendment will restore the original American understanding of citizenship and will restore the rights of the American people to define their own political community, and will ensure that the citizens once again reflects the allegiance, permanence, and membership in the American nation. This amendment accords with the text, history, tradition of the Constitution, and American conception of citizenship, and restores the principle embodied in the Civil Rights Act of 1866, the law that was formed the basis for the 14th Amendment. As my MS brief in this case explained, the law contains citizenship provisions establishing all persons born in the United States and not subject to any foreign power would be granted birthright citizenship. The provision was understood to grant birthright citizenship to children born of parents domiciled in the United States, while clearly excluding children born to foreign parents temporarily visiting the United States. As my brief recounts, the 14th Amendment was adopted to constitutionalize the Civil Rights Act of 1866. The original American understanding of citizenship was never a suicide pact, was never a weapon for illegal entry, temporary presence, democratic conquest, or foreign influence. And then continue blah 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 blah. And then this is showing the picture, whatever. So we have two options, which is this is a hard lesson that us American have to learn about our civil lesson. This is a civil lesson for us to learn and get the political will to force our states. Hey, George, what is it that I always say?
Something, 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 something.
Local election have national consequences.
Yeah, that's something.
So, and that's been a beating drum of mine for a long time. And now it becomes even prudent because you know what else they're trying to remove, George?
Local elections?
No, the 17th Amendment.
What happens there?
The 17th Amendment means that the senators are no longer voted by popular vote. They are returned to being appointment to state representatives in state Congress.
What does that even mean?
That means that you can't buy people to Senate. That means that your local election has more power.
Oh, you can't buy senators anymore?
Yeah.
I've been saving up to buy a couple of senators myself,
Mm-hmm. Can't buy senators. So this is very important.
Son of a bitch.
Bream for the view from Justice Thomas, who was a dissenter here. Shannon.
Yeah, in his dissent, he gets to that point, Bill, that you're making there. The 14th Amendment was enacted in the wake of the Civil War, quote, with the one pervading purpose of securing equal citizenship for the freed slaves. He writes, it was enacted, as Justice Harlan wrote, to secure to a race recently emancipated the civil rights that other citizens enjoyed. So Thomas has always been about that was the purpose of the 14th Amendment. He goes on to say that the court, meaning the majority now, has repurposed the 14th Amendment to protect its own set of preferred rights that the Reconstruction Congress never contemplated and that cannot find support in the text. Today, the court does so by recognizing a constitutional right to citizenship for the children of all foreign birth tourists and illegal aliens. Uses very specific language there. Again, Justice Thomas adhering and agreeing with the government's argument, which they made here very passionately, that the 14th Amendment was about protecting the children of freed slaves and not what we've come to understand it as. You see his language there. He mentions birth tourism. It came up in the arguments, and clearly that's a very...
And he submitted a 91-page dissonance, which is funny as hell. Zero Hedge. Justice Alito retires from Supreme Court, NPR reports. Reader at NPR retracted his report claiming Justice Alito retires, stating the story was published in error. He remains in the Supreme Court. Guess what? Somebody got caught.
Uh-oh.
Because why would they report that he's retiring? Meaning that they were supposed to get news that that the ruling was supposed to be the other way, George.
Something.
And then Alito was going to retire, meaning that, oh, this is beautiful. That's why Thomas was laughing yesterday. He knew what was going to happen. Remember, I told you yesterday that he's like, this guy is laughing like a little prankster, you know.
Well, are you telling me that they knew the bad ruling was coming, and they already made plans to pivot and turn?
Yeah. Also, George, here's the other thing. You know, they were saying that they were leaving a pathway for Congress to do it. Hey, George. So this is from MJ True Ultra Fam. I know you're upset about it, but don't be. The decision correctly upheld the plain text and historical meaning of the 14th Amendment citizenship clause, although they rule on what they rule was a shitty clause. That's precisely what SCOTUS is meant to do. SCOTUS is to interpret the Constitution as written, not fix policy problem via executive action. President Trump always knew the executive order was an improper, unilateral rewrite of settled constitutional and statutory laws. I said yesterday this required Congress or a constitutional amendment. We just happen to have a Congress in Congress right now, been sitting there since January 2025. I'm not sure why, but I feel this is working exactly how it's supposed to be. So right now, there's a law still being circulated, H.R. 569, Birthright Citizenship Act of 2025, introduced January 21st, 2025.
So they're just gonna go out of their way to pass a law to say you can't have birth citizenship,
right? Because that would have to clear out the immigration laws that had broad and improper language in there as well, George. Also, That means that the courts can make that decision. The representative in Congress have to make the decision, forcing them again. Guess what? Trump is going to say, hey, you need to pass the Save American Act. You need to include the birthright citizenship as part of the Save Americans Act. And you got to do that now. It's going to be a lot of fireworks.
Yeah.
One way or the other, you know. So I just find it interesting. And then just to kind of remind you, I did read it. I did read it, but the Supreme Court upheld the birthright citizenship, which is too bad for our country, but we can easily make it up in the Congress through legislations, which the support of President Nada has been determined during this process. No long and unwielded constitutional amendment is necessary. Congress should start today to work on the ending expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship. They will have my complete and total support. HR 569, Birthright Citizenship Act of 2025, introduced January 21st, 2025. Hey, George, when did Trump enter office again?
24?
No, 21.
Come again?
Trump entered office for his new term January 21st, 25.
Okay.
This bill has been introduced January 21st, 25.
Okay. I'm sure those numbers mean something.
Congress should start today to work on an ending the expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship. In the wings, they had the birthright citizenship since 2025. The moment that Trump entered the White House and started his first term is when they introduced this bill for birthright.
So he was planning on doing this for a long time.
Yes. You had to show the people that it was bad writing, that it's the responsibility of Congress to fix the language, not the courts. The courts are only supposed to interpret the language. They're not supposed to be making rulings or whatever about the policies. Congress did what they were supposed to do and pointed out, hey, if Congress wants to fix it, they're able to. Oh, by the way, you know why I say this is a pattern about Alito finding a leaker? SCOTUS Wire, according to Wayback Machine, NPR article announcing Justice Alito's retirement was supposed to be published on Friday. Justice Samuel Alito, who wrote the opinion overturning Roe versus Wade, retires June 30th, 2025. Samuel Alito, seen here, April 2021, retired Friday before they returned. So why did they have this story already published and ready to send out? What did they think was going to happen? You know?
Yeah.
I think they were expecting that they were going to rule the other way, that they were going to uphold Trump's executive order and they were going to uphold Trump's birthright citizenship. And then they would have, and then Alito would retire. Then that would give the a Supreme Court seat that would galvanize the left into trying to win the elections first to block Trump from any further elections, like they did with in his first term, and then the second one is to try to win a presidential, so that they would have another Supreme Court on the bench that would be liberal.
Oh no!
But they didn't do that, and they introduce false information. So now they know who the leaker is.
Oh no!
So now if they have something else to do, well, they can continue leaking to give false information, or they can what's the word I'm looking for? Get rid of the leaker, and nobody will know what exactly they're going to be deciding. Oh, by the way, George, you got to be careful. Because a mysterious explosive diarrhea parasite has outbroke in the U.S. as experts try to figure out what's causing it.
What is causing it?
A parasite that causes explosive diarrhea.
Yeah, but what is causing it?
A parasite that causes explosive diarrhea.
Yeah, but again, what is causing it?
You mean the actual parasite?
Well, you know, what's the cure? What's the problem? What's gonna you know save the world and the universe and everything?
Oh, they haven't said anything. They like always. They said the parasite Psilospora Kaya Dinales is a parasite that has come from overseas from May and June 16, with 145 people being affected in 20 states. The only thing I can think of, okay. Oh, wait. The CDC believes that a patient became sick after eating food in the United States. This usually happens when there's fecal matter in the food.
Wait a minute. Who got sick?
They don't say who got sick.
Was it the tourists?
They don't say it's a tourist either.
Because I think this is just a propaganda to make the tourists sick.
Yeah. Treatment, of course, are antibiotic, typical, trimethorphan sulfite, methazo, also known Bramibactam, Spectrum, or Coltrim. You know, additional to avoiding food or water at risk of contamination, recommends following safety handling recommendation for safety preparation and storage. Several veggies has previously been linked by the parasite, such as cilantro, raspberries, sweet peas, lettuce, and basils. So, hey, George, you know, we don't have to really worry about it because we have the drug of choice that deals with parasites, you know? No?
Yeah, I got nothing.
You got nothing?
Yeah, it's like, is this another, you know, another pandemic scenario?
Nah, it's not a pandemic scenario. It's just like saying, "Hey, you're having explosive diarrheas now." But you know what? Returning back to the birthright citizenship, George.
That's bugging you, isn't it?
No. I just want to point out another thing that I saw. The thing that's holding this up is not the Democrats. It's the Republicans.
What?
Well, think about it. Right now, we have a conservative court, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we have a Republican president, right?
Yeah.
And right now, we have a majority House and Senate Republicans. but they're still dragging their feet like the Democrats have power to block them. Hey, George, let's go back to 1993, shall we?
Yeah, go.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough, how about offering a reward for being an illegal immigrant? No sane country would do that, right? Guess again. If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship and guarantee of full access to all public and social services this society provides. And that's a lot of services. Is it any wonder that 2/3 of the babies born at taxpayer expense at county-run hospitals in Los Angeles are born to illegal alien mothers? If making
This was the Democrats' Senate Majority Leader back in 1993.
Yeah, at some point they got all flipped.
Mm-hmm. Did it get flipped, or it's always been the case?
I think they got flipped.
I mean, I don't think they got flipped. I think this has been the same case the whole time. And then Erica reporting 911 dispatch regarding Senator Mitch McConnell. Dispatch 836 to his home in D.C. on June 14, requesting EMS stating unconscious, needing advanced life support. Is Mitch McConnell even alive? We the people deserve to know. Could be the turtle being it's being like that senator where like Dianne Feinstein, where she was not even around until she finally died. They wouldn't let her leave the seat.
Las response unconscious 217 C3 no CCS in Charlie. Medical local paramedic agent 3 medic 3 ALS response unconscious 217 C Street no CCS in Charlie. Close of 2nd Street on Channel 11 836. ALS response unconscious.
All right, we'll know if the turtle's still alive. Hopefully soon. Director Mike Kretos, for too long, outdated rules based on old technology held back American aerospace innovation. Now we are updating those rules for the first time since 1970. Today, the U.S. DOT announces a new proposal to enable civil supersonic flight by replacing speed limits with noise limit, ushering in a new era of safer, faster, quieter air travel for all Americans. Thank you, Senator Duffy and FAA Brian, for your leadership in ensuring the flight is invented and built in the U.S. The return of supersonic flights. We're getting supersonic jets again, George.
I don't think so. The Concorde was expensive to manage.
But that was, back in the 70s. I'm sure the technologies has updated to make it more cost manageable. Right?
How long is supersonics supposed to take to go from one place to another?
10-hour flight down to 2 hours flight. And depending on how high they go. Remember, Elon was showing those trips being 30 minutes from going almost to the atmosphere and down.
Yeah, but that's, one side of the planet to the other.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is the flight going to be? What, $20,000?
Well, that's the issue, right?
You can't even enjoy the dinner.
What dinner?
Well, you got to have a meal on the plane.
You can't have a meal. When have you had a meal on the plane? That stopped in the 2000, George. Don't you remember?
No, I haven't been on a plane.
All right. There's lava, and those peoples are right near it that, if it explodes, they're gone.
Yeah, just wanted to point out some people are just plain stupid.
Hey, look, I'm safe against you guys who are closer. No, sir. If you're able to see those people and you're able to see the lava and you're that close, you're also okay. I'm gonna zoom back. No, I'm like this whole area is like you are so close to ground zero. This will explode. You're caught up on it. It's not like the movie where it just it explodes in that one little pimple spot. You know.
Yep.
All right. All right, that's it for tonight. Thank you to Blonde Goth Girl. Thank you to Lurkers and Bots. George, what's your final thoughts?
Yep.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow for more, because more will keep happening. Until then, bye.
I believe that together we can make America great again.